Welcome to the ECMA Spotlight. I'm your host, Consuela Bastrash, and today my special guest is Maggie Andrew. Maggie, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So congratulations, you had a really big night last night.
I did.
So tell us what award you won.
I won the award for African Canadian Artist of the Year. It was my very first ECMA ever, so I'm just feeling over the moon about that. I'm really excited.
Amazing. And there was such a talented group of nominees last night, and
Yeah.
amazing. So last night you also performed, correct?
I did.
Yes. So what song did you perform?
I performed my song Better Than You, and again, last year was my very first ECMAs, and then this year my second, and I performed at the awards, and I didn't know what to expect, and it was just amazing. It felt incredible, and we just went into it and had the most fun, and I think that's why it was so good.
Awesome. And what do you have coming up next? What are you working on?
I have an EP coming out in June 14th, called Day Job. That will be a compilation of the singles that I've released in the last year and some new ones. And I have some shows coming up. It was just announced yesterday, actually, I'll be playing at Soma Fest in PEI in September, which I'm really looking forward to. And we're going to the Great Escape in the UK 2 weeks from now. So we're just on the road, got a lot of things on the go.
So what's your favorite part about the music industry? Do you like the touring? Do you like the creative process, the recording? Tell us what kind of motivates you.
I think the creative process is just, I've always been into making art, and making art is what it just lights my soul on fire since I was a kid. So being able to express yourself through music and kind of say your feelings and make sounds and just, be free with yourself is what I really love about the industry. I just started playing shows last year, and now I'm like loving it, just still learning the ropes and getting a hold of what it's really like. But I think I am excited to actually tour when that will happen for me.
Excellent. And how long have you been doing this for?
Well, I've been writing songs since I was 12, and then professionally, I guess since I was 18 was the first time I went to LA, and then that's kind of never looked back. And I'm going to be 25 in June, so it's been a road.
Wow.
But we're still very early on in the career, so.
Yeah, no, you're still very young, and you've got a really long career obviously ahead of you.
Thank you.
So what do your goals look like in the next 10 years? Where do you hope to be?
Oh my gosh. In the next 10 years, well, I really want to play Coachella. Playing Coachella is like one of my dreams, and that's something that I really want to do. But hopefully just still writing songs and making music, playing shows, and I kind of just take every day as it comes, and I'm just really grateful for all the things and the moments that I'm in the time that I'm in them. So the next 10 years, I think just successful, having friends and family around me and feeling support from my community and my fans around the world. But yeah, I don't know. I'll see you in 10 years and we'll talk about it.
Right. And how's your family reacting to all the amazing things that you've been doing?
Well, my mom was here last night, so that was a really special moment just to have my mom there when I won that award, because she is the strongest Black woman that I know, and she raised me to be one myself, so it was really nice to have her in the room. And I ran to find her after I won, and she was just so proud. She had like tears in her eyes, so just seeing that. And she's like, I told the whole family in the group chat. She's like sending me all their messages, so it feels really nice to feel my family's support kind of behind that, and they're really proud, so yeah.
And what about the community? How do they feel about you representing them and taking it to this level?
I mean, I think they feel good about it. It's only been a brief amount of time since I've won the award and just done this, but I do just feel in general over the last year, I felt a lot of support, especially from Nova Scotia and the community there, and then just on the whole East Coast. It's been incredible and kind of something like I've never felt before in my life, I guess. I came back, and the community on the East Coast, it's like family with everyone. Everyone is so intertwined and connected with everyone's journey, and I'm really grateful to have the community as a part of mine.
Mm-hmm. And do you know a lot of the other musical artists that were at the awards ceremony?
I do. That's why it was extra fun sitting at my table. KO, another really great artist, he was one of the first awards that was announced, so it's really cool to be sitting at the table and we're all just cheering and so excited. And it's just nice to hang out with friends and be surrounded by creativity and love and support, and also meeting new friends, and we all have the same thing in common. We all love creating.
Mm-hmm. And where do you say that you draw your inspiration from?
My emotions and just things I've gone through in life is usually where I find inspiration to write songs. And I feel really connected to like every single song that I write. It's just something that feels true and genuine to me. And I like to kind of tap into those feelings, because I know that I started writing music because I felt alone. And I know that there's people out there who do feel alone, or they feel a certain type of way and they think it's just them who feels that way. And I just wanted to write songs, and if one person feels something from it, the music did its job.
So take us through your creative process. How does that journey start?
It's different every single time I get into the studio and write a song, which is why I think the music is pretty eclectic and it's very cool. And I find working with different artists and the genres that they work in, we kind of collaborate and meld together and just create something completely different from what we both would do on our own, or writing songs. Everyone has a different process, so I like to kind of see how other people work and challenge myself to put myself in a different environment and see if I can do it. And usually I can. Sometimes it's a challenge, but it's really cool just being able to not have like a set way that you do something and just try something new every time.
What's some of the biggest lessons that you've learned over the last few years of making music?
Not every song is going to be a good one. That one is very big. But I guess just when something doesn't work out, or sometimes giving, like you hold on to a song for so long yourself before you give it to the world. And sometimes something can be so special to you and then you give it to the world and it doesn't meet your expectations of like how people react to it or something. But just kind of having to remember and like ground yourself and remind yourself of why you started doing what you do. And there's so many highs and lows, and I guess you just kind of have to enjoy literally every moment and be grateful for the things and the journey of where you're getting to where you're going.
And what would you say to this point is, I guess, your biggest life lesson throughout doing this?
Biggest life lesson. I think sometimes you just got to take a risk and put yourself in an uncomfortable situation to grow. And I went through like a really tough time, and that's kind of how I ended up in LA. And I was like really scared about that. And that kind of launched me into where I am now. And I don't think that I would be here without that experience. So I think just learning and, just surrendering into what life has to give you, and things don't happen to you, they happen for you,
right,
even if it's bad. So,
right.
Yeah.
What would you say the difference is making music in Los Angeles versus here locally in Canada?
I definitely think that coming back to Nova Scotia from LA, something that I really gained as a skill here was my songwriting. I really focused on that because on the East Coast, there's no short of talent with songwriting. And I've been working with some incredible collaborators, Carlton Stone, Willie Stratton, Corey LaRue. Like, we have written some amazing songs, and I don't think I would have been able to write those songs anywhere else except for on the East Coast. And it's like really focusing on the words that you're saying and the story that you're trying to give your listeners. You're painting a really big picture. You're not just saying anything just to make a song. You're really making something that matters. So here, I really appreciate that, and I think it's such a beautiful thing. And yeah, LA is it's like on the go, it's quick, it's urgent. It's like, all right, we need a pop song tomorrow. And it's like you get in there and you just write something. But it's more personal on the East Coast. It's just different. It just feels different. And I'm really grateful for my experiences that I've had since I've been back.
It's absolutely a different pace of life here than I find in some of the larger cities where it's a little less connected.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you wanted to talk about in particular? Is there anything that you wanted to add? Because we've got a song coming up for you guys that you're going to play for us.
Yes.
Tell us what you would like to get out there.
Well, I'm really excited about the EP coming out in June. That's like one of my biggest accomplishments. And I just have been, for the last 5 years, I've been like, I want to put out a body of work. And finally that's happening. And we set a goal last year to put out an EP, and now that's happening. So I just feeling really proud and excited about that. And it's done, it's coming out, and I'm excited for people to listen to it for the first time. And just, I guess that's pretty much it.
Awesome. And what's the song that you're going to play for us?
It's called Survival Mode. And it's actually a really special song. I wrote it at a time where I felt like I was just in survival mode, and I was kind of like shut down and just feeling a lot of things. So it's a really emotional, special tune there.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm mean to myself so that no one else can do it. I suck at making choices and I feel like no one listens. Overthinking everything, I get too scared to say anything. My mind is always moving 1,000 thoughts a second. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I've been doing this on my own. It's not like I want you to leave. Just got comfortable being alone. Don't leave me alone. Ooh. Don't leave me alone. I beat myself up. Feels like I'll never be good enough. Can't get in touch with my emotions. Been living in survival mode. Can I just be honest? It's been weighing on my conscience. I feel that I am hard to love. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I've been doing this on my own. It's not like I want you to leave. Just got comfortable being alone. Don't leave me alone. Ooh. Don't leave me alone.
Welcome to the ECMA Artist Spotlight. I'm your host, Consuela Bastrash, and my guest today is Kinley. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yes, so you have a lot going on right now, don't you?
Yeah, life is pretty exciting for sure.
So tell us about some of the things that you have coming up.
Cool. I'm a Prince Edward Island artist, and I have 3 albums out now. So I'm just like working on writing more songs, co-writing with some friends around the Maritimes and across Canada, really. I'm having a great time doing that. I just released a couple music videos with my friend Jenna McMillan directing and producing, and so I'm so excited for that. One of those we shot at the bar in Charlottetown called Baba's, where I happen to host open mic every Wednesday. So if you're in town on Charlottetown on a Wednesday, come on down. It's a wild time. It's a really good time. What else am I up to? Well, I started a new job. So I was on tour quite a bit for many years I used to play with Hey Rosetta and Kathleen Edwards and Jen Grant and Rose Cousins and everyone in their band. So I'm kind of new to being a solo artist myself, but I realized like after 20 years of touring, I was a little bit tired of going to Tim Hortons every day. Still love you, Tim Hortons, but
Living the van life.
Yeah, living that van life I was like, oh, my back's starting to hurt. So I was like, you know what? I actually love being at home, and it really made me appreciate Prince Edward Island. And I'm having such a good time, just like being here full time. And I mean, I'll pop over to Moncton or Halifax once in a while. I love it there. But yeah, so I got this new job working at a psychology clinic, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it's completely different than anything I'm used to, but I'm really loving it. I took some like psychology courses in university, you know. I was always like, I don't know, maybe I'll go in that field or music. And then I was like, well, I do love music. And so now I'm like doing both. So
you're combining the two into one.
Yeah, so I'm like doing both like simultaneously. And actually, one of the psychologists asked me to kind of like do some music under like a mindful meditation thing that he's going to do. So I'm kind of combining both, but I just studied as a psychometrist, so I'm administering like intelligence tests.
Interesting.
And, yeah, it's super, super interesting job, and I'm really loving it. And it's, much needed in PEI. And
it sounds
everywhere.
like something that would be very fulfilling as well.
Yeah, it's such a great job. I'm loving that. What else is new?
And so your job, do you basically work by yourself, or do you engage with the public? Do you engage with kids? Like, what does that entail?
I work like with a psychologist, like a registered psychologist. So he does like the intake exam. So it could be with an adult or a child. I've mostly been working with children so far, and it's really like awesome. Like kids are so fun and so interesting. So they come and like discuss what's going on with them, and then I'd meet them the next appointment, and then we have like a 3-hour testing session. Lots of breaks, don't worry, and there's prizes at the end. And then we come back for a secondary testing session, and then I would score up their report and like look through their background and like and then hand over all the results to the psychologist, and he's the magician. He figures out what's going on in their brains. It's so interesting, and just meets with them and the parents again, and just like finds ways to help them in school or like at home, how they can like help their brain. Or sometimes it's like a really like super intelligent kid, like okay, maybe they need accommodation so they can have even more success in life. So it's really, really interesting job.
And so if that's your educational background, when it comes to music, did you also study for music as well? Or is that something that was self-taught?
Yeah, well, my parents are both musicians. So my mom is an amazing pianist and my dad's a wicked drummer. He's actually the drummer in my band.
Nice.
Yeah, which really works out easily. And so yeah, they took me to a lot of concerts growing up, and I ended up in grade 4, I started violin, and then in grade 8, our music teacher was like, everyone stick your arms out. So I was like, stuck my arms out. I'm really tall. She's like, Kinley, you have the longest arms. You're gonna play viola now. And I was like, what? I don't even know what a viola was.
Wow.
But it's, if you don't know, it is just slightly bigger than a violin, and it has one lower string, and it doesn't have the high string. So I was like, oh, okay, this actually like worked out really well, because I got more job opportunities being able to play violin and viola. And then I ended up studying at Dalhousie University in viola. So I got a music degree with a viola performance degree, which was really cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And is there an opportunity to combine both of your passions together? Are you able to kind of combine what you're doing in your field plus incorporate music into that as well?
Well, it's all very new to me, this like psychology section. So we'll see what happens. But I've kind of like, that's a great idea. I think you just changed my life. Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds really fun, because when I am at one job, I'm like, oh, I miss like the music part a little bit, but I'm happy to have a balance of both. But I mean, might as well mix them up together.
Right.
That's the future. So that's really fun. I feel like also with, I work a lot with PEI, Rape and Sexual Assault Center. So we're doing like a lot of cool projects with them. We did, it's still ongoing, the Island Shot, which is like similar to the Angel Shot that they have in Europe, where it's like if you go to a bar and you're feeling unsafe, like with this person you're with or what's going on, you can just order, like, I'll take an Island Shot. And so that's an indication to the bartender that you need help, and they can like come assist you. So there's 3 different ways, like neat, on the rocks. Oh my gosh, I forgot the third one. Anyways, there's 3 options. And it's super cool, and I'm so happy that it's implemented in so many bars in Charlottetown. So my friend Candace, who works at PeerSac, went to all the bars and like did training with staff and showed them my little video. And so my picture and the list of the drinks that you can get is in the bathroom in most of the bars in Charlottetown. Yeah, it's super cool.
And that's such an important initiative too, to offer support to people that could potentially get into a precarious situation.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, oh, thanks. Yeah, unfortunately it happens way too often, and I'm just like, we just came up with this. Candace is great. She has so many amazing ideas. Actually, she just sent me another one yesterday. I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. Everything she does, I'm like, yes. So we're going to work on another project, I think this fall as well, with just working with other survivors of sexual assault, and like kind of like writing poetry and like making more songs, which is kind of like a spin-off of, so I did write a song called Microphone back, and I released it on my first album, which was wild, because it was like, oh, this is my first album. I'm just going to put it out into the world. And then suddenly it kind of got like Canadian attention and like global, and the national. I was at my house, and and CBCQ. I was like, what is happening? But it was all because of this one song, Microphone, which discussed like, my sexual assault and how I dealt with it. And it was the fastest song I've ever written, but it also took me 15 years to write. So it was like thinking something that was on my mind all the time. But when I wrote it, I was like, oh, I'm just going to put it out. And then so many people, unfortunately, connected to it.
A lot of positive feedback.
So much feedback, because everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is like my anthem now. Like, this is so cool. And I'm so proud of how the song ended up. So now it's in the grade 9 curriculum in Prince Edward Island, like in the health class, teaching
Amazing.
so it's teaching about consent and bystander rules and gender norms, and it's just so cool. I'm so proud of it. Like the song and the music video that my friend Jenna McMillan also directed. So yeah, it's super cool.
How does that feel to know that you've made such a big impact on so many people?
It's super cool. It's still like, I can't even like wrap my head around it sometimes. Like, hey, I can't believe this is happening. But at the same time, like, you know, like more people come up to me like, oh, this happened to me as well. This happened to me as well. I'm like, oh man, okay, time to do more. Like it's time to on to the next project so we can like stop this kind of stuff from happening.
Absolutely. And you're going to perform a song for us today, correct?
Yes, I am.
So can you give us any information on that? What your inspiration was behind that?
Yeah, the song is called Golden Days. I put it on my first album, but it seems to be the song that everyone's like, oh, this made me happy cry. Like the government of PEI actually used it in their repatriation campaign, like trying to get people to move home.
Yes.
And it worked. Actually worked too well. Now there's no houses for anyone else, sorry. But some of my friends were like in Toronto or elsewhere across Canada, and they were like, you know what, we were thinking about moving home, and then we heard that song and just something happened. And then we listened to it all the way home and crossing the bridge, and I was like, oh, that's the sweetest thing that I've ever heard. I love that so much. So it's just like a love song to PEI, and my favorite beach, which is Lakeside Beach. And it's just, you know, you're like, it's just the chorus says, maybe you should come home. Like the big city's like a lot. So like the relaxing waves and the water of this island are maybe just exactly what you need.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kinley.
Oh, thank you. That was really fun. Thanks for talking.
Thank you.
Chatting. It was great.
You ain't colorblind. Now everything you see is red. You were looking for the sunset, but all the numbers got to your head. Maybe you should come on home, 'cause you've been saying it for so long, that the buildings surround you and the city it drowns you. Yeah, maybe you should come home. You've been saying it for so long. Let the water lift you from the city's undertow. Yeah, maybe you should come home, where the gritty sand makes you feel born again. All the bad things you lived through and the good things you didn't do, they get washed away when the sun hits your face. When you're diving in the waves, yeah, these are the golden days. By the piping plovers, where you told her you loved her. We were running with the tide, seeing life through our childish eyes. Yeah, maybe you should come home. You've been saying it for so long. Let the water lift you from the city's undertow. Yeah, maybe you should come home. Daydream all night. Take her hand, make it right. Where the dunes wrap around the bay, it can take your breath away. Where the colors all bleed, where the sky meets the sea, and you're diving deep with your friends all around, skipping stones to the sea. Never want the sun to go down, but when the stars come out, everyone gathers round and they talk to the flames. Yeah, these are the golden days. And when there is a break, we all listen to the waves, 'cause the sound of the shore can take you out of the darkest place. Yeah, maybe you should come home. You've been saying it for so long. Let the water lift you from the city's undertow. Yeah, maybe you should come home. Daydream all night. Take her hand, make it right. Ooh, yeah, maybe you should come home. You you come?